case where we all came to a conclusion that none of us anticipated with these two extraordinary choices. And I don't think we've ever felt better about the people that we selected. No part of the John F. Kennedy legacy is greater than civil rights. And one of his allies in those early days was the then courageous governor of North Carolina, Terry Sanford. And North Carolina has weathered some storms better than some of its neighbors in the South, but it, like every other place in America, faces new challenges. And in 2008, Elizabeth Redenbaugh went on the new Hanover School Board. She was a Republican mom of 3 kids who went to public schools, as Caroline said, and the first issue that confronted her was an effort to basically resegregate the schools. It was dressed up, but that's what it essentially did. And she fought it. She fought it from the very beginning. She was in a minority. She and several black board members fought it. They were outvoted. They kept at it. They fought it again. They fought it when it came back from the state. And she said at the time, "I cannot vote in favor of any redistricting plan where the overwhelming majority of students at any given school qualify for free lunch." She said it's wrong, it was wrong back then, and it's wrong now. She's up for re-election next year. It's going to be tough. She said she was here tonight with her charming family, and she said earlier, "I'm not used to being celebrated these days." Well, I want to tell you, Elizabeth, we are so proud to celebrate you tonight. It's my pleasure to introduce Elizabeth Redenbaugh.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that amazing introduction. I'm overwhelmed. Thank you so much to Caroline Kennedy, to the Profile and Courage Award Committee, and also to the John F. Kennedy Library Foundation. This is truly an amazing, amazing honor. I was asked to share with you all tonight, I guess, some personal reflections on receiving the Profile and Courage Award. And to share that with you, I wanted to tell you a story that I think captures the essence of what it feels like to win this prestigious award as a school board member. But before I share you that story, I need to explain to you, in case you don't already know, if you are a school board member, you are essentially at the very bottom of the political food chain. Like tonight, when we were introducing all of the elected officials in the room, when we do that in New Hanover County where I live, the school board members are the very, very last people to get introduced. And in fact, I was actually at a fundraiser on Thursday where we didn't even get introduced at all. So we are really, really down low. At any rate, about 2 months ago, I received an email from the Kennedy Library Foundation asking me if I would talk with one of their staff members about what had happened in my county with regard to redistricting and the resegregation of schools. And of course, I was unbelievably honored that they would even want to talk to me and hear what I had to say. So we set up a time for me to have one of their staff members call. So actually that day was a Thursday, and the time of the call was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. My youngest daughter, Kate, who was introduced earlier, had just gotten home from school. I sat her in the kitchen and said, "Okay, do your homework, eat a snack, but don't bother me. I'm getting an important phone call." So I went and locked myself in the bedroom, had data printed out so that way I could speak intelligently with this staff person. And lo and behold, the phone rings, and it's Caroline Kennedy calling to tell me that I've been nominated and have won the Profile and Courage Award. So needless to say, I am completely overwhelmed. And the first person I really want to share this with is my husband. But unfortunately, he was in Louisiana that day, and he was actually flying home at the time, so he was in the air. So what do you do when your husband's not around? You call your best friend, who actually is here. Her name is Christine Lewis. Can you stand up, Christine? So I call Christine. So actually, sorry, Caroline. Caroline had asked me to keep it a secret, but I swore her to secretly, and she did not tell anyone. So I call Christine, and I tell her about Caroline Kennedy calling me and all about this. And so I get finished telling the story, and Christine says to me, "Well, you know, Elizabeth, I really would have thought that you were joking, except for the fact your hand is shaking so bad, I can hear your earring hitting the phone." So, it has been amazing to go back as a recipient of the Profiles in Courage Award, to go back and read President Kennedy's book, Profiles in Courage. And it's truly a remarkable book, and it's fascinating to read through the eyes of someone who has now endured a lot of criticism for the stand that they took. And I would love to be able to go back and find out what motivated each of those individuals to take the stands that they did. And because that was like one of the biggest questions that I had, I wanted to share with you my motivation. Back in 2007, before I had ever even decided to run for our school board, I had been listening to a podcast. I love to download different things onto my iPod, and I'll listen to it while I go run or if I'm doing laundry. And at this particular time, I had downloaded a podcast of a sermon series on the book of Genesis. And there was something throughout that sermon series that the pastor said that really stuck with me. He said, "We are all made in the image and likeness of God, and therefore are worthy to be treated with dignity, value, and respect." And that really, really resonated with me. And it made me think, okay, how do I order my life to reflect this principle if this is something I truly believe? Fast forward to later on in that year, I had gone to pick up actually my daughter Kate and our middle son Austin from school, and it was raining that day. And a bunch of the moms, we had congregated over this under this overhang, waiting for the kids to get out of school. And I recall one of the moms saying, "Oh, you know what? I just heard the school board is going to redistrict the elementary schools, and they're going to go back to neighborhood schools." And I don't really remember what else was said beyond that point, because I was just lost in these thoughts that washed over me. In New Hanover County, our housing patterns are racially segregated. And I knew instantly that that would mean that our schools would also be resegregated. So even though I fought the idea of running for a school board, that was the moment that I knew I had to run and I had to fight. I did obviously subsequently get elected, and I did put up that fight. Unfortunately, I did not win my battle, but hopefully one day things will change in my neck of the woods. Political courage can certainly change a world. In my instance, it didn't. In Wales, it has. And so thank you so much to the Profiles in Courage Award Committee and the Kennedy Library Foundation for celebrating political courage, for encouraging it. It's something is truly remarkable, and I hope that you will all support your elected officials when they take stands that are principled. Thank you.